Hey dolls, welcome back to DivaDollFlawless. Today's video is actually going to be on a review for this machine, the Brother CE8080PRW. It's a Project Runway limited edition computerized sewing machine. I was gifted it. I wasn't sent it for review from the company or anything like that. My husband did go out and actually purchase it for me. Or, well, I went out and picked it because this is the one that I wanted. It is my second sewing machine, but it's actually my first computerized sewing machine. If you follow me on Instagram, then you've had a sampling of some of the projects that I've actually been working on. So I've had a chance to use the machine, especially for a lot of things that I know I'll be making a lot of, and I really love it. So without further ado, here's my review. Okay guys, so at first glance, when you take the machine out of the box, this is what it's going to look like, okay? Now on this side, you have all your different sewing functions, and it comes with a number. I'll do a zoom in so that you can see some of those. Over here, you're going to just have your LCD screen, and this is just going to show you your stitch length, width, which walking foot to use, and all that other information, and you'll see that when I turn the machine on. Over here it just says CE8080PRW, and this actually comes off, and inside of it, it holds a little baggie that has a bunch of different tools that comes inside of this, and I'll open this up so that you can see what comes inside of this. Now, normally when I'm sewing, this is how I'm sewing so that I can just, you know, stretch the fabric across it, and I don't really necessarily have to worry about this being in the way, especially if I'm sewing something like a hem or something like that. I can just stretch it over this, okay? Now, first things first, it does come with bobbins, but I would suggest that you purchase some, and I got these from my local Walmart, and they were $3.47 for 8 bobbins. The one thing about Brother that you'll run into is that you cannot just use, if you had another machine, I had a Kenmore prior to this one, and this is a class 15 sewing machine, but it does not use the class 15 bobbins that they sell at Walmart, that's supposed to be for, you know, all machines. I purchased some, it did not work, and you will see when you go to sew that the bobbins aren't working because your lower thread is going to be like knotted, and you already know that that's what's giving you an issue. So when you purchase your machine, you're definitely going to need additional bobbins. It does come with 4, but when you're sewing a lot of different projects, you know, winding a bobbin and all that, it's just additional time. So I would say once you purchase your machine, just to go ahead and get you these if they have them. If not, then you're going to need to purchase some bobbins from a local Brother dealer, and you will want to Google where, you know, a local Brother dealer is. Okay, so the machine is plugged in, and right here on the back, on the side of the machine, you're going to have your power button. This is where you would turn the machine on, and then you're going to have this little socket right here. This is actually your power socket. So this is what you plug into the machine, and then it has, you know, the normal socket to plug it into the wall. And then back here, this is actually going to be your pedal so that you can sew. And it just looks like this. So that's where you plug everything in at, and then this is where you press the button to turn the machine on. The same side of the machine, you're also going to find your hand wheel, and this is what you use to turn your needle up and down towards you, or, you know, to pull it out of the fabric, okay? And you'll know that it's lined up because this line right here needs to match this little line right here. Now you're also going to find your bobbin winder, which is where you will wind your bobbin, and this will actually lock in place when you're ready to wind your bobbin. But you're going to find your bobbin winder, and then also your spool cap for your thread, your spool. Let me find the cap. What did I do with it? So the spool and spool cap would be right here. Now when you're not using it, this actually comes off, and you just click this that snaps into place on the side, okay? And then you just press your little button and it releases it. So that's how you can store, you know, this is what this will look like when you go to store it or, you know, move it back and forth. On the back of the machine, you're going to have this right here. This is your handle that you would use to carry the machine, be it going to a class or just moving it, you know, from a bookshelf to your sewing table or whatever. You know, this is your handle. This machine does not come with a cover, nor does it come with a case. So you would either want to make yourself a sewing machine cover or buy you a hard case, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of traveling, because the last thing you want to do is to drop your machine, okay? Now, these little functions right here are just for when you're putting your thread on, as well as winding your bobbin. So the thread is simply going to go from your spool cap right there, and then it's going to pass right here. It's going to go under this little hook, and then you would take it around this and then, you know, pull it over there. But your machine will show you all that, and I'll try to do a video on how to wind your bobbin. And then you're going to have all your different built-in stitches. There's 80 built-in stitches, but there's 120 stitch functions. And then it also has 8 styles of one-step auto-size buttonholes, okay? So, you know, there's a lot of different functions, especially for garment making, quilting. There's a lot of things you can really do with this machine. So there's a total number of 79. Okay. And now all of these are pretty much made for like quilting. As you can see, buttonholes. There's all kinds of different things. Overcasting, zigzagging. Now, the one stitch that I've honestly used the most would be this one, number 3, and this is the stretch zigzag. I use that because I've been doing a lot of, like, if you do any knits like the maxi dresses or maxi skirts, I hands down suggest that you get yourself a computerized sewing machine, because just having this one stitch right here makes life 100 times easier. My manual sewing machine, I needed to make sure I had a ballpoint needle. I needed to make sure I had a different walking foot, and it was just learning how to use a machine at first, and then needing all those different things and on the fabrics. It was just, I was getting really confused. So seeing that the computerized sewing machine just had that one stitch that just made everything so much easier for me, it was hands down worth it just for that. Alright, so moving along the machine, you find your LCD screen again, and like I said, stitch length and width, and then when I turn the machine on, you'll see what all of these, you know, buttons are for. This button right here, you're going to find this is for your back stitching. So when you're starting and ending a garment, to make sure that your threading is like secure, you want to back stitch at the beginning and the end. And then this right here is just where you're going to be sewing. You also have your tension for your thread, and for the most part, I have not had to mess with my tension. Now, I did see a lot of reviews on this for the Walmart website. You know, under it had a couple reviews, and a lot of people were complaining that the stitch that they didn't, you know, the tension wasn't right, but out of the box everything worked. All of my stitches are fine, and this is pretty much what mine stays on. I haven't had to mess around with it at all, so I haven't had any issues with that. I will say the one issue I had with this machine was that I went and changed the bobbin, and my lower threading, which is the thread that comes out of the little bobbin, was knotted up. Now, I did read those reviews. A lot of people complained about that, and guess what? I really think that it is human error. It's us threading the machine wrong or using the wrong bobbin, because everything that they complained about, I had that very issue, and it took me about an hour to figure out what was going on, and lo and behold, it was the fact that I had switched my bobbins up and I used one from my old sewing machine. As soon as I replaced it, I turned the machine off, turned it back on, replaced the bobbin. It worked perfectly fine, and this machine runs really smoothly. If there's anything wrong, you will hear whether or not something is off. You gotta pretty much, just like a car, you know how you get in your car and you hear like it might be the slightest tick and no one else might not hear it but you do. That's how your sewing machine is. You have to baby it. It's like your baby. You're going to know when there's something off on it. Okay guys, so right here you're going to find your automatic needle threader, and this actually, you see this right here, that little hook is supposed to pull the thread through the needle for you once you get your top machine threaded. I can say that that was an issue for me. My husband ended up having to bend it a little bit just so that it'll work, because out of the box it wasn't aligned right, and now I think he needs to go ahead and realign it again. So I don't even bother with that, even though it's supposed to be something to make the threading the machine a little bit easier, because you have to try to see through this teeny tiny hole. You guys know, if you ever sewed before trying to use it. Now, and they have like needle threaders that you can use. I would just use that, or do like I do. I wet the tip of my finger, wet the end of the thread, and I just close one eye and push it through, and I'm fine. Okay, so right here is where your bobbin gets dropped in once you wind it. So you just pull this little hook and then you drop your bobbin in. If you have ever had a manual machine and you're moving to a computerized machine, you know how much help that is. You drop your bobbin in, you just follow this curve right here, and it actually cuts the thread for you. So then what you would do is make sure that you have your top threaded in. You pull your hand wheel towards you, pull the needle down like that. I'm not going to mess around with it too much, but you pull your needle down and then you use your top thread to pull the bobbin out, and it's, oh my god, you can be ready to go so fast. Now, another thing that I love about this is that it does come with a lot of the different walking foots that you would normally have to buy separately, okay? So that also helps with understanding the cost of these machines. Now, back here you're going to find your lever to raise and lower your walking foot. And then back here is a little clip, and let me just raise the walking foot. It drops it for you. It drops it off. So if you need to switch it to something else, then it's literally just as simple as that. Again, all of this stuff just really saves you a lot of time when you're sewing, and then when you need to, you just simply take it, and I'm going to have to move away from the camera so that I can see and line it up. But all you're going to do is you just simply line it up right here, and then you just pull your walking foot down and it clips on. See, I just did it with one hand. As simple as that, and you're good to go, you know, especially if you're going to do some monogramming. Now, in this machine, I'm sure there's probably a way to monogram. I haven't learned that yet, but it's another machine that my husband actually said he was going to get for me that comes with monogramming on it. So if I get that one, then I'll show you guys that. So this is pretty much a run through of it. Let me get ready to turn the machine on. Guys, so now that I've shown you all the different things, you just want to go ahead and turn your machine on. And it does that every time. Turn it off. Turn it on. Okay. And I love, it's just like, ah. I really love this sewing machine. So as you can see, it does come with a light. It's not the absolute brightest light, but I have pretty good vision, so I'm fine. But if you wanted to, you can always go to Joann's, and they have like little lamps. I, for the most part, use daylight bulbs and daylight lighting in my household, so I always have pretty good and sufficient lighting. Now over here, like I told you, you're going to find your LCD screen. The only thing I wish is that this one had a light on it, and I think the other machine that my husband said he was getting for me does have a light right here so that you can actually see it. So let me zoom into that, and I'll show you how to mess around with the different functions. Alright, love, so this is what the LCD screen looks like up close. So right here you're going to have your stitch length and then your stitch width, okay? So in order to change it, you're just going to move this button up to change, to change it up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so this one right here is your stitch width, so how thin or thick you want it to be, and then this is how long you want the actual stitches to be themselves. Now these right here are the functions for the different numbers that were on the side, these right here. Okay, and each stitch comes with the number. So when you're ready to change it, you want to make sure that your needle is always in the up position at all times, and that it's not going down into your fabric. So once you make sure that you turn your hand wheel up to make those two marks match, you want to go ahead and press whichever number you're going to need. So if you're doing this 3 stitch, it's as simple as pressing that. If you're doing, let's say, 73, then it'll tell you. Now, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but as these numbers change, the stitch width and length automatically changes for you, so you don't have to really worry about setting that. And this right here is your walking foot, and this is the end. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this one is the monogramming foot that you would use. All of the walking foots that come with the machine, they all have a letter automatically engraved on it, so you don't have to worry about the letter fading out and not knowing what is what. It comes with that. So as you can see, it makes life 100 times easier by having a computerized sewing machine. Like, this is one of the best gifts that my husband gave me, outside of my engagement ring. But I absolutely love, and my kids, yeah. But I absolutely love my sewing machine. This has been making sewing and learning, and I'm a newbie to sewing, and I've been able to just whip things up watching different tutorials, going on Pinterest and looking things up. It just makes things so much more easier. So as you saw, this little thing, this little compartment slides on and off. Okay, now inside of it is this little package. I do wish that this machine had one of the little lift up compartments, because if this gets too full, then it's not going to fit in there as easily. Or if you use the normal, if you don't add anything else and just keep everything in it the way that it is, then you have to make sure everything's super flat in order to close it. So I just pretty much leave it out and put it in my little box that it comes with. Now in this, it's going to come with this seam ripper. It comes with 4 bobbins. As you can see, a lot of mine are already going to have thread on them. It does come with 4 bobbins already, and one of them is included in the machine. I'm just trying to pull all these bobbins out. Okay, so it comes with the extra spool, the thing that holds the thread. It comes with that. And that's all of this stuff inside this little machine. It comes with the little screwdriver for when you need to change your needles out. And then it actually comes with needles. And some of them you will actually need to purchase with a manual sewing machine. So it comes with a twin needle. It comes with extra needles. And then I believe this one is your ballpoint needle, which is what you can use with your stretch knits. Okay. And it comes with, this is for like buttonholes, buttons and buttonholes. That's what that's for. It comes with a little lint brush so that you can clean, the inside of that out. It comes with the extra spool cap for your thread. Another little smaller spool cap. So if you use the smaller spools of thread. It actually comes with a lot of things, like a lot of things. And, this was just on one of the spools of threads. Then you have your different walking foot. So, okay, you have this one, which I believe the N is the monogramming one. But you see how that letter is automatically engraved on it right there? So you don't have to worry about figuring out which one is what. All you have to do is just pay attention to this letter right here and then look at your walking foot. This one is the I. It comes with the zipper. I'll tell you which ones it comes with. I'll pull a box so that you can see. This one Comes with about 4 or 5 walking foots, and then that standard one. So that's everything that came in this little pouch. Oh, and then it comes with this one as well. Lord, there's a lot of stuff in this little pouch. But yeah, so my manual sewing machine, it did not come with any of these things at all. And then, of course, like I said before, make sure that you purchase yourself some additional brother plastic bobbins. Okay, guys, so this is what the box looks like. It does come with a instruction manual. It comes in, Spanish and English. So it comes with 2 instruction manuals. And then it also comes with, you know, all your normal things. This is the little quick start guide showing you how to thread the bobbin, your list of different stitches that it comes with, limited warranty, and, you know, all that other goodness. I'm not going to go through all of that because if you get the machine, then you'll see it. But normal stuff, then electronic device comes with limited warranties and registering the machine and all that other stuff, okay? So I'm going to switch the box over so that you guys can see the some of the stitches. Okay, loves, so this will be the end of the video after I get done speaking about this portion. And the next video, I wanted to include it on this one, but this is just going to be way too long of a video if I do. So the next video will be just showing you guys the different projects that I've made, okay? Now, the most important thing that I want to cover, and it's what I was looking for, well, what were the different walking foot options I would have when purchasing my machine. So this one, as I showed you, but I didn't give you correct names for the ones that I showed you. They come with the Zigzag foot, which is the machine, the walking foot that you saw on the sewing machine, and that one is the one that I use for like my stretch knit zigzag stretch option, okay? Now the next one is the Buttonhole Foot. It also has a overcasting foot, a monogramming foot, a zipper foot, and a blind stitch foot, okay? And lastly, it comes with a button fitting foot, okay? Now, I'm not necessarily sure how to use all of those. I know that this does not come with an automatic monogramming option like the machine that I want, but I'm sure there's a way to monogram using a regular sewing machine that doesn't have that automatic option. I believe you just have to write on your material and move it around and, you know, things like that, okay? So those are the most important things I wanted to cover, and I hope you dolls enjoy the review. I hope it's helpful to someone, and until next time, have a gorgeous day, dolls. Smooches. Mwah. Bye.